would you use AI for texting, whether it's apologies or whatever? Would you use it in your everyday life, or do you use it in your everyday life?
What's up, everybody? It's your boy, StephenMotivate, back again with another episode of The Journey to Freedom with my friend and yours,
Dan Koeth.
What's up, brother?
What's up?
Hey, we're going to talk about what today?
We're going to talk about AI, how you use it in your everyday life, personal, not professional. We have plenty of videos, or have seen plenty of videos about using AI professionally. Let's talk about how you use it in your everyday life, or could use it in your everyday life.
I think that's a great topic. Everyday Americans, and we're always going to put that twist on it of how do you use it as it relates to your money, honey.
So the first topic, I read an article on this about people or couples using AI in their messaging back and forth for texting, apologizing to one another, whatever it may be. Let's say that you've overspent the allotted budget that you had for Amazon this week, right? And your partner's not real happy.
When you were married, did you guys have an allotted budget? We
didn't.
Yeah.
We didn't have money to spend. It was like, let's go to the grocery store. Can we get milk, cheese, eggs, bread, So no, we didn't. But I think, a lot of couples that are getting married, maybe a little bit later in life, have accumulated a little bit more money before they start having children.
Yep. I think with any couple, or any group of people getting together, spending money, if your finances are combined, or if you're living together, if you're doing something together, spending money is a big deal. It's a make or break.
It's the deal.
Yeah.
Right? So money is the number one reason for divorces in the U.S. You would think infidelity or something like that. Money is the number one reason.
So this basically could be called how AI can help save your marriage from divorce.
I'm sure it could.
If you wanted to.
Right?
If
you wanted to, right? So, I guess, and that was just one example, but let's say you've ticked off your spouse, and you're not the best with words. You could put in to Chat GPT or whichever one you're using, hey, I need to apologize to my spouse because I overspent money, blah, blah, blah. It'll put out something. So the question becomes, is that genuine, right? Genuinely, you want to apologize, but you just want to use the right words.
Yeah. Well, I like this because, as you know, when I'm not putting on, what did he call that? Airs, or putting on, there's a word for it, but when I'm not trying to forcefully be professional and make sure that everything's nice, and when I'm just myself, I can be pretty direct and
I think coarse is the word I would use, right?
And
so some people that's okay with. I want to be direct, coarse about, maybe not coarse, but very direct.
Type A. Yeah. And it doesn't even offend me. I prefer somebody say, Steven, shut up. You go over here. Okay. I'm
90% of people would go, oh my gosh, I can't believe they just said that to me, right?
Right.
Whereas it was funny, we were joking earlier today. I walked into your office and said something very direct, and you're like, that's how I like to be communicated with.
Yes.
And I'm like, nobody in their right mind wants that, right? You've told me that in your family even, that you guys are very direct, and I've seen it in person.
Very direct.
If you did that to people in my family, as we were growing up and stuff,
wouldn't be no family reunion.
No family reunion, and people would be butthurt over it literally every time you handle it like that.
Right. And it's interesting because we just got off a family vacation, and we have grown and learned to be more patient and tiptoey and not do things that I don't think we even had an argument this family vacation.
Beat around the bush type.
Well, just more conscious of the fact. So there is a level of, I will say, there's a level of maturity with how you use your words.
For sure.
And
for sure,
if you're not good at it, I don't think it's a bad thing to use AI, because it's not like it's disgenuine to try to be your best self. And I think that's the problem people have.
So that's what you just said is we all want to be our best self for the most part. And I want to give the most heartfelt apology or whatever it may be. And I'm not always the best with words.
Right.
Sometimes I could be just as direct or curt or however you want to call it, right?
Yeah.
And I don't want that to come through. I genuinely want to apologize.
And you know what I think is good about this is that when you're putting it into ChatGPT, if you're just a regular Joe Schmo and you're using AI for this, also describe what you think your partner is so Chat or the AI agent can understand who it's speaking to. Hey, this is my spouse. They typically get really upset if I spend too much on gifts or this or that. They typically bark at me, or they close the door, or we stop communicating for days. I actually just overspent on this magazine that I really needed to have, and I'm afraid they're going to be upset about it. I want to tell them, I want to apologize, and I want to avoid us having a breakdown in communication. And I say all this because you should talk to your AI as thoroughly and completely as possible.
So the more you do, the better the response is going to be, quite honestly. And so I guess before we go any further, comment on this. Would you use AI for texting, whether it's apologies or whatever? Would you use it in your everyday life, or do you use it in your everyday life for things like that?
So let me ask you this. If you find out later that your girlfriend or spouse used AI, like let's say you guys got into a big argument, it worked itself out, but 2 weeks later she says, hey, I used AI would that piss you off?
I don't think so. I would probably look at it a little differently. Like, you cared enough about your apology that you wanted it to be perfect. And I would look at it from that angle, like, it was still you typing into AI, this is what I want, right?
Yeah.
This is what I want to say. I just don't have the words necessarily. Like, to me, you're going an extra mile to make sure that your apology means something.
And I would agree with that if it's not so evident that it's not you.
Yeah, my dearest love. You know, it sounds like a love letter from 1816
Right.
or something. You know,
So you need to,
whilst I call upon you, right? I mean,
whilst I think of your rose petals.
yeah. I mean,
softness.
so yeah, as long as it's not something like that, obviously.
You got to still put it in your own words. So use AI, talk to it. You don't have to be a super uber duper smart, like professional person to use AI. But if you're going to use it for your relationships, it could help you. But just don't take the first response. Probably edit it a bit. Try to even see, I think, the difference between what you would have said without AI, what AI said, and see if you can come up with something that still feels like you, but is probably augmented by or improved by the AI's ability to understand how important emotions are based on all the information that it has.
So I think you're going down the right line. My recommendation is tell it what you think you want it to say. It's going to spit something out. Go through and edit it to your point and put your own words in. Then re-put that into AI and see. So that's a mixture of your words and, what AI is thinking. So,
yeah.
Again, for those of us that aren't always the best with words or are maybe too direct, it could be a good tool.
AI could be a benefit in that way. All right. So next thing, because we're on this dating, we're on this overspent. So what's another thing maybe along those lines?
The dating. We actually,
right.
We hadn't even talked about that yet.
Yeah,
we haven't talked about. So we were talking today. Okay, you want to plan the perfect date, but you're on a budget. Maybe we're always talking about money while we're in here, right? So I have $300. And I want to have a wonderful night in Charlotte, North Carolina, or Gastonia, North Carolina, right? What can I do? Where can I go for this budget? And it will spit out a list of places and things that you can do. You can type in the zip code.
Is 300 a lot? I feel like 300 is a lot for
It's
people.
a lot. Okay, it's a lot.
$50?
But okay, $75. I've got $75 outside of going to Wendy's and a movie, which still probably costs more than $75. it might spit out, is there a park nearby that you can go walk to? You could actually have a picnic, and then so I think there's a lot of $300 is probably a weekend. What can I do for a weekend in Charlotte, North Carolina for $300?
So I want to take a date out in Charlotte, North Carolina for $75. What should I do to stay within that budget and still have a great time? Here's some great date ideas in Charlotte that keep the total under $75, fun, memorable, and budget friendly.
Ooh.
Art, culture, and coffee. Free First Friday gallery crawl in South End. Stroll through galleries, enjoy live art demos, and soak in creative vibes, all free. Nearby coffee or pastry break. Grab a treat at a local cafe, $10 to $15. Leaving room for a little sweet treat afterwards. Bowling and drinks, 10 Park Lanes, the classic retro bowling for two, $20 to $25 for fun and drinks. Finish with a drink at a nearby bar, $15. You're at a total of $40. Picnic in the, oh my gosh, this thing has so many.
I told you.
I'm not gonna read all these. There's way too many. But yeah, that's a good way to and then it asks you at the end, let me know what vibe you're aiming for, romantic, playful, adventurous, and I can help tailor one perfect for a $75 date for you both. So that's an easy way to stay within budget and actually have fun still if you don't know what else to do.
So I think the other part to this is ask your partner, all right, listen, what's your ideal for a great date night Friday night? Like, what do you think? Input that in there, and you become the hero at that point. And you can do it without breaking the bank.
Right. Depends on if you want to ask the date what to do, because some girls might be offended by that.
But okay, if
like
not,
you're going to
again,
ask me what to do, you can't think about it yourself, and
or the first time you do it, you present it, or you go out on that date and say, "Hey, what did you like about this?" You can find out more, right? So there's ways around it, I think. But the goal of this is, I only have $75 for a date tonight. I don't want her to know I'm broke,
right?
But I want her to have a good time.
And I want to teach her or teach us that we can still have fun without spending gobs and gobs of money. I think
Absolutely.
Too many people get caught up on the amount you spend equals the amount of fun you have. And it can be actually the exact opposite. You can spend a lot less and have way more fun, partially because you didn't spend so much money to have the fun.
Well, and that's a valid point. Think of how many business dinners we've had where the bill is ungodly, right? And you're like, oh, it really wasn't worth what we paid. However, we've had some smaller dinners at smaller restaurants, and you're going, we paid a quarter of the price, and this food was 10 times better.
Yeah, exactly.
So there is value out there to be had.
Got to spend some time.
And using the AI, we talked about, paying yourself first. We've talked about that in the past, and but part of this is what can I go without? Well, can I go without DoorDash? If I go without DoorDash, can I, for $75 over the course of a week, have a really nice date night at the end of the week?
Yeah, no, I think that's great. And then what was another thing we thought we could use AI for?
Household budgeting.
Yeah, so you talk about just budgeting one day, one night out for fun, but how about the whole month? How about your house and how you guys handle your finances? I think that AI in this way can help you do a lot of the hard math that you don't want to do. Hey, this is what I bring home. And you can even go as far, what should I be doing with this money? And you could even go as far as to say, what would StephenMotivate tell me to do with this money? I'm wondering what that would say.
Sure. So to that point, you put in your income, roughly what your bills are every month between your rent, mortgage, electric, gas, internet, cable, whatever. You type all that in there, and on top of that, you tell it, hey, I need to save 15, 20% for savings. How much do I have left over, and what should I spend that on?
Yep. So this is so I just asked ChatGPT. I'm going to screen record this again. I just asked ChatGPT, I said, what would StephenMotivate tell me to do with a weekly income of $500? If StephenMotivate was coaching you and you said I make $500 a week, here's what he'd break down. It's not about how much you make. It's about what you do with it. Step-by-step plan for weekly income of $500. This says pay God first, tithe or give. A heart of gratitude opens doors. So give $50 to church or cause or someone in need. Then it says pay yourself second, so it's a little off. I would say pay yourself first. And if you pay yourself first,
God would disagree.
If you pay yourself first, the Bible also says you should be a cheerful giver. And so if you actually have some money to give, you can be a lot happier when you're doing it.
We need Brother Andre's take on this.
Yeah, we do. We'll say that for another one. So pay yourself second, even though we always say pay yourself first. 50 to 75 should go into savings and investments like apps like Acorns, Robinhood, or Albert. It's crazy that it knows that.
It does.
Build 3 to 6 months of emergency fund. Invest in things like VOO or dividend stocks. $50 a week equals $2,600 a year. And then it says cover your needs. Track every dollar. Make sure no more than 60%, $300, goes to rent, food, transportation, and phone. If it's more than this, it's time to cut or hustle up to get more. And use the leftover for growth or debt. So your money should either buy freedom or buy back time. So with the last 75 to 100, you can pay down debt, take a course to learn a different skill, buy gear to launch a side hustle, or save for some other car or tool or equipment that will make you money.
So that was all done through Chat GPT. None of what you just said was made up.
None of it.
Absolutely amazing. So how long has StephenMotivate been on the internet for?
Probably
2 years, 3 years?
1 solid year.
1 solid year.
Of course, we've had stuff before that.
Sure. Okay, let's say 1 solid year of YouTube videos, right?
Yeah.
Chat GPT, out of 1 year of videos, potentially,
Yep.
came up with all of that in 15 seconds, right? It all is 99% accurate.
Yeah.
Right? So I'm not saying we have to trust AI for every single thing we do, but it's pretty accurate 99% of the time. I mean, we use it in business to generate descriptions for products, give us meta tags for Google search and SEO. So it can be a useful tool for not only business, but to your point for kind of the budgeting around the house, and it will give you fairly accurate information about what the right thing to do with your paycheck is.
Yep. Absolutely. I mean, there's some really good quotes here too that I don't want us to miss, because it says you can't out earn bad habits. So, and
facts.
It could be a bad habit of just not sitting down with an expert. And if you have a phone that can get you to AI, that literally gives you a chance to sit down with an expert. And I imagine if we uploaded a bank statement into this thing, say, hey, show me where I could have made better decisions with my money. And I bet it spits out, this is what you could have done differently. That would set you up for essentially, getting your freedom back. Another thing another quote, every dollar you touch is a soldier. Send it out to bring back more. That's really good.
Have you said that before?
No, I've never said that.
Well,
I said it now.
We have a new quote.
Oh, yeah, this thing, AI is...
Every dollar you have is a soldier. Send it out to bring back more.
That's right.
Wow. So, to wrap this up, I guess, AI can be used for a lot of things. It can be used for personal relationships, budgetary, business, right? I think there's a generation, probably my generation, that 40 to 50 and on up, a generation that is not comfortable using AI.
Right.
You and I have been using it daily for all kinds of tasks.
Yep.
I think the younger generation's probably more in touch with it and feels more comfortable using AI. Like for me, and I think people my age group, we've been using our brains to try to crack the code for so many years. There's a tool that's available to us now. It's here to stay regardless. AI is not going anywhere. It's probably only going to become a bigger part of our everyday lives.
Yeah, 100%. So let's recap. Number one, use AI to learn how to speak to your significant other or your friend or whomever. I need that. I'm going to start using that, and my relationships are probably going to get better. Number two is
plan a date.
Plan a date.
Or even not just plan a date. Plan
an event,
outing.
an activity, an outing. It could be a work outing. It could be something with your kids. How can I have a good time with my children for $50?
Yeah.
So plan an activity using AI. And then lastly, use AI to help you manage your household budget. So guys, I don't know what to tell you. Like, you're going to be so much more happy with money, with things that require money, if you start using money properly. And AI can help you do that.
Absolutely.
All right.
Cool.
Well, that's it. Artificial intelligence. We're at the beginning. Let's see where it goes from here. Remember to like, subscribe, comment. We want to hear from you. What are you using AI for, and how do you think folks should use it going forward? Until next time, it's your boy StephenMotivate. Dan Koeth. Peace.